Hello, my name's Tony Hughes. I'm a non-practicing barrister. I'm retired. I have a master's degree in law and a PGCE. This website, Law Rights and all that, and this vlog channel are here to help you. We are proposing to educate and help people understand what their rights are and what the law is. But, like all lawyers, we have a disclaimer. The disclaimer relates to the fact that we're doing it for educational purposes and I'm not providing professional legal advice to every viewer. That would be impossible. You must seek independent legal advice from a lawyer relevant to your own specific circumstances and before issuing any legal actions. You are responsible for your own actions and we're not advising you. Or I'm not advising you as a lawyer or legal advisor. We're simply explaining the law and I'm acting as an educationist, not a legal advisor. Having said all that, Law Rights and all that proposes to make you super citizens. I like that little one shooting up. We make you super citizens by providing you with the tools to exercise your rights. And you have a lot of rights, but we will get to those rights. We're also here to explain the law in as clear and non-legal way as possible and to educate and inform. So our mission statement is to inform, to explain your legal rights in a clear way as possible. We will tell you the source of the law, that's where it's come from, and we will provide you with a link address so you can read it for yourself online where possible. So explain legal rights in clear way as possible, tell you the source to the law, and that we will provide links so you can read it for yourself. We do more than that, we will educate you. We will help you understand what your rights are. We will help you to assert your rights and to give you the big picture and explain what the law is and how it relates to other laws so that you can exercise your rights more clearly. Because sometimes laws conflict with each other. There are other policy reasons. For example, some laws will give individuals rights, other laws will restrict those rights for certain reasons, and we'll explain that as we go. But what we won't do is lecture you like you're a university student. We'll do it in, for want of a better expression, bite-sized chunks of basic information which you can use in everyday life, not obscure laws that you're never going to need to use again. We want to inspire you to learn about your rights to complain. So it's not just about education, it's about encouraging you to think for yourself and to encourage you to learn for yourself. To be a super citizen is to have, if you like, special powers, because a lot of people, especially people who should know better, like police officers, social workers, officialdom generally, civil servants, etc., don't know all the laws. They've been trained, but they've forgot some of their training, or they haven't learned their training, and they don't know all the laws. So we'll teach you how to complain in writing. We will provide you with some written examples of complaints to help you draft a written complaint, and we will assist you in that process as much as we can. Not specifically, not for you as an individual, but for an audience, for the channel. We will endeavour to give as much information as we can using the benefit of YouTube channel. We'll tell you how to complain and how to collate, put together, assemble, if you like, data and information, how to get the data and information to make your complaint stick, or help prove your complaint, and we'll help you do that as well. We'll tell you about what we call legal remedies, compensation. We'll signpost you, point you out to other avenues you can complain other than going straight to court, such as ombudsman, if there's an ombudsman service that exists. That might be a strange word for some of you, but if you think of an ombudsman as a judge who will review complaints and then make their own decision, that's roughly what an ombudsman is. But I will have a detailed lecture shortly on just that topic, the topic of ombudsman and how many operate in this country, very soon. The young man wants to know what his rights are. He wants to know what rights he has in relation to being stopped by the police. He wants to know what his human rights are. He wants to know whether he's got the rights to make complaints about faulty goods, such as damaged trainers, things like that. He wants to know what his rights are. So, just a quick sample of those rights. He has what we call statutory rights, which are acts of parliament and regulations, which contain rights. Human rights, which are also legislation as well in relation to the European human rights, European Directive on Human Rights. Employment rights, rights when he's at work, rights not to be discriminated against, that sort of thing. Consumer protection in relation to services he gets or goods he receives or buys, and other legal rights, which includes breach of contract and legal rights from common laws, such as the right not to be unlawfully detained, which we call habeas corpus. Rights operate in the sea of rights in an ocean of law. There are different types of rights coming from different sources. So I've made up this elaborate slide to help you understand that. there are regulators. Now, regulators like Ofwat, Ofcom, the Data Commissioner for Data Protection, etc. They are tasked with supervising particular things for the government, for the state, and they will put out requirements for the companies to do, such as in railway cases or in the case of gas prices and things like that. But they also provide a source to you of rights of complaint to regulators and the right to point out to them things that are going wrong with the industry. Then we have statutory rights. Well, statutory rights I've already explained are acts of parliament and regulations, but rights that are contained in writing that are set out in law. Then we have common law, and I've mentioned habeas corpus as one common law. More commonly, things like contract law, that sort of thing, and even murder is subject to common law. Corporate governance. Corporate governance is the right to complain to companies who operate, and that is sometimes protected through other regulators, so that banks, financial institutions, large corporations can be made accountable through the corporate governance legislation and within their own governance. Then we have things like European Declaration of Human Rights, which is, we're a member of the Council of Europe, not the same as the European Community, not the same as the EU. The Council of Europe is a different organisation entirely, and we signed up for and are members of the European Declaration of Human Rights, and we have been members for some considerable times. And we're also members of the UN, which has a declaration on human rights, which came in after the Second World War, and also has other sources of international law, such as children's rights, etc. And we'll explore those in more detail as well. So you can see there's lots of different sources of rights. That's why I say it's a sea of rights. In an ocean. Thanks for listening. Subscribe, please, to this channel, Law Rights and All That. We're on Facebook. You can like us. And we're also on the internet. Thanks for listening. Bye.